UFC Fight Night, Taira versus Park, full card predictions. I'm going to go through the full card. We're back in the UFC Apex, and I'm going to give you all my sick picks. I actually did okay last week, so take a thing or two from me. Decent card, a couple pullouts, but that's okay. A lot of pullouts. Look at them all. Fuck's sake. We just can't get rid of them. But I'm still looking forward to this. Good main card. Vallejos, Magny, Ribovics, Brenner. I think the main event, it's all good, and we're going to go through the first one now. Bashi takes on Yannis. Who the fuck is that guy? No, seriously, I've never heard of Yannis before, so I'll be taking Bashi by first round submission, rear naked choke. 31 years old. Damn, Austin's young, but he was a prospect coming in, got fed to the prospect killer in C-Rod, Christian Rodriguez. Now Yannis, a guy I've never heard of. Yeah, I'll be taking Bashi, thank you very much, and we'll move on. First round sub. Ketlen Souza takes on Piera Rodriguez in the women's division, flyweight. And she's a slight, kind of decent fave. I'll go Piera Rodriguez as well to get takedowns here. She impressed me against Josephine Knudsen, who I picked her to lose against. You can't see that one, sorry. Oh, wait, here it is. She beat Josephine Knudsen. She's a big girl who's strong and has a good wrestling base. And Ketlen's a little bit smaller. Close fight with Angela Hill, which I don't really like. She knocked out Yasmin Jaregui, who doesn't, which is crazy to say. But yeah, I just think Piera might just land takedowns and be a bit too big for her. But this one is iffy. Ketlen has decent striking and she's not terrible. But I also don't think Piera's terrible either, so I'm going Piera by decision. Not that confident in that one. Next one, Felipe Bunes versus Rafael Estevam in the flyweight division. And this one's weird. This guy's a massive underdog and he's not getting any chance. I will go Rafael Estevam, but I'm not confident because Felipe Bunes, he's pretty decent and has a grappling kind of base. Just got a submission in the first round. Only lost to Josh Van before that. I don't hate you for that. But Estevam did beat a Charles Johnson and a Jesus Aguilar back to front. So he's pretty good himself as well. Who's there for me? I know who that guy is. But yeah, I'm going to go Rafael Estevam to take that back in moments. And be able to ground this one out and win a decision via back taking a little bit of a boring fight. But maybe Bunes has moments and he's so technical and good on the floor. I really don't rate Estevam as a prospect, someone you never hear about, really. But yeah, we'll move on. Rodolfo Viera versus Tresean Gore. I'm going with Tresean Gore. I think he's too big. And not that he's too big, but I think he's strong and he has a good, wrestling base, and it's not like Viera can even fucking get people to the mat anyways. I reckon he's way too old these days and shit on the feet. Just had a stinker against Petrosky where he's the favourite. I picked Petrosky to beat him. I think Gore's got a similar style where he's decently mid on the feet. Losing to Tulio's not terrible. He's got a good guillotine as well. Not that he's going to guillotine Viera. Hopefully he doesn't fucking go for it. But I reckon he's going to be able to stuff the takedowns and land big power. I actually reckon he'll end up knocking out Rodolfo Viera in round two. I'll go. I reckon Viera's slow and chinny and old, 35. Gore's 31, strong, big black guy with power in his hands, who's game. Getting shredded by Tulio, I don't think it looks terrible. Tulio would do the exact same thing to Viera. Tulio's a beast. Before that, he was on a decent streak. He's had some iffy ones, but I reckon Viera's shit and old and done and past his prime and completely done. Maybe not completely done, but old and shit and can't even get it to the ground, just a jiu-jitsu guy. But I reckon Gore's big and black and strong and not going to be able to not going to be taken down, beat him on the feet, hit him with big power, hit him with something he doesn't see and knock him out in the second round. Tresean Gore by KO is the pick and he's a dog. Again, Viera's a favourite. Stop trusting that 35-year-old guy, he's fucking useless. Rinya Nakamura versus Nathan Fletcher goes down in the bantamweight division. Not confident about this one at all. Fletcher's given no chance. Rinya looked like shit in his last one. Please grapple. I never really want to say that, but please grapple. And I don't know, I think he's way too strong. I like that he lost his O. He'll bounce back and beat Nathan Fletcher, hopefully. And I don't have the balls to pick Nathan Fletcher, even though he's actually a good dog. If you truly think about it, he's got good grappling, his survivability, good pace as well, decent striking. They're both shit on the feet, but I reckon Rinya wins. And yet again, I don't have the balls on me to pick Nathan Fletcher. Nick Klein versus Andrey Pulyaev. I do have the balls to pick Andrey Pulyaev, though. I reckon he wins. Yeah, I reckon he wins. I reckon he's too long. Stuffed a lot of takedowns on the Contender Series. Lost to CLD. So would Nick Klein. I reckon Nick Klein's shit and weirdly has farmer strength. Pulyev's young and way more seasoned on the feet and actually decent. He moves back a lot and barely goes forward. But I just reckon Nick Klein's trash. And I think he won't win this one. I reckon Pulyaev wins by decision. I actually feel pretty good about that as well. But maybe Pulyev's so dog shit that he'll lose this one. But he was a $4 underdog on the Contender Series, and he looked fine. I actually picked him to beat CLD, which was brain dead, but that's okay. First fight on the main card, Pulyaev wins the decision. I actually feel really good about that one. Fuck Nick Klein. Danny Silva versus Kevin Vallejos goes down, and this is my favorite fight on the whole card. Like one of the fights I've been looking forward to for so long. Seriously, if you know, you know. Vallejos versus Danny Silva is a banger. Like seriously, the best fight on the card. I don't care about Ribovics Brenner. This fight shits on it. A boxing like warfare. 23 years old, both young prospects. None of them are lost in the UFC. They both think that they're good at is boxing. They both got a granite chin. Sick combos. Like this is going to be amazing. But Vallejos just does it a little bit better. He just does it a little bit better. I think I need to grab my charger soon, but I'm just going to push forward. Is this a charger for mine? Hold on. Oh, bang, I think that's a charger. Maybe. Yes, it is. We're on. All right, yeah, Vallejos wins. Eventually knocks him out with good body shots. He's so poised. I reckon he's just a way better boxer than Danny. Not way better, but like a real edge. Vallejos, I truly believe in. I reckon he might even be champ one day. There's not a lot of people I'd pick to beat Vallejos. I reckon he runs over Dan Ige, beats the shit out of Pitbull. That's how high I think of Vallejos. Like, he's sick. There's like certain guys that come along, like Josh Van and Jack Della, who are just unique in the way they can throw hands that others can't. And Vallejos is one of them. He's going to absolutely murk Danny Silva eventually. But I reckon Danny will put up a good fight. He's got a granite chin, big guy, rangy, good boxing himself, pretty poised. So yeah, I reckon Vallejos wins eventually. He's a massive favourite as well. They're really giving Danny no chance, but I do believe in Kevin Vallejos fully. Next fight on the main card, Neil Magny. Alessi Zaleski has taken this one on short notice. Neil Magny was supposed to fight Gunnar Nelson. Magny's the dog, and I'm fucking taking him. I really don't actually know why he is the dog. Like, maybe, obviously, the odds makers are seeing something in the style, but I'm seeing something just in blatantly looking at Magny's typology. Gary beats him. Michael Morales beats him. Prates, like the elite of the elite, the special ones, the undefeated guys, the phenoms. Alessi Zaleski is like 38, old as fuck, just got KO'd. He's more of the level of a Mike Malott, but not even. He's more on the level of a Phil Rowe, a Daniel Rodriguez, a Max Griffin. These are people Magny just fucking beats and has made a career of a beating. Who he doesn't beat, though, is a fucking Shavkat. How did he lose to Joaquin Silva in grappling? The lightweight, but that's alright. Gilbert Burns, Ian Machado Gary. I know this is like maybe just a blatant one. I'm not saying a lot about technique, but I don't think Alessi Zaleski, who's 38, is Prates or Magny. Well, he's obviously not Magny. Is a Prates or a Gary or a Michael Morales. I think he's more of a D-Rod. I think Magny's going to be able to hold him against... Look at his UFC record. Fucking hell, he's had a lot of fights. I reckon he'd be able to hold him against the fence, win this one in the clinch. Alessi will slow down. Maybe he'll lose the first round on leg kicks, but eventually get his grappling going, hold Alessi against the fence. I'll say again, hold him against the fence. Maybe a bit of a boring one, and just outdo him, outvet him. Like, I picked Phil Rowe to beat him. He still outdoes Phil Rowe. He can still pull off a win against Mike Malott, even though that one wasn't going too well. And fucking Alessi is older, and he just got KO'd. I know, so did Magny, but Magny's used to it. This guy doesn't always get KO'd. I think he's just a little bit slower behind the 8 ball. And yeah, I feel pretty good about Magny's chances of winning that one. I'm going him. Next fight, girl fight, Karol Rosa versus Nora Cornolle, and I'll be going Nora Cornolle as well. I reckon she's got more pop in her shots. And I like this one for her. I don't think her takedown defense is pretty good. I don't reckon this one will hit the mat. And I just like her to out-edge and maybe just out-damage Karol Rosa, who can mark up a bit. I know this one's not the most... Oh, fucking hell. I was going to say, I know this one's not the most common pick because she's the slight dog, but everyone's picking her. Now I kind of feel stupid, but I suppose everyone's just kind of seeing this. Oh, damn it. Loss, win, lot. Hopefully that doesn't mean fucking anything. I mean, Poirier lost 2 fights on the way out, so that didn't mean shit. Who cares about that? I reckon Nora Cornolle out-edges her with big power shots. I didn't like what I seen from Karol Rosa recently against Aylin Perez. I thought she'd maybe be able to outdo Aylin, and yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm thinking Cornolle wins, but this is actually a good women's fight, and Rosa's impressed me before, so I'm not too confident, but when I seen this one, I was like, yeah, I actually reckon Nora can probably outdo this one with big shots on the feet, maybe cut Karol Rosa, wobble her in a moment. I'm not too sure, but I do like what I see out of Nora Cornolle. Cavalcanti kind of schooled her and beat her up, but I reckon Cavalcanti's sick and would beat Karol Rosa. Alright, featured fight, Ribovics versus Brenner. I actually do think this one is close, and I don't think you should count out Brenner. Ribovics leaves his chin up in the air, but he does have a granite chin. His volume's insane, and his boxing combos are elite as well. One of those handsome Argentinian boys. He's not the only one on the card. And Brenner's just fucking young. Jesus, I didn't know Brenner was this young. I kind of thought he was like 35. And look at that. Alvarez, oral by. Not that guy. Guram. Like, just anyone who's a fucking beast. Brenner takes on. We'll pick Ribovics to outdo him. Brenner's taken a couple bad losses. Alvarez eventually knocked him out and TKO'd him and overwhelmed him with strikes and big power. Oral by. That was a good fight, but I just think he's not going to be able to take Ribovics down, and Ribovics boxing just pretty sound, and his volume's so good you'll trust him to pick it up in round 3. Probably outdo Brenner as the fight goes on, wins round 2 and 3. Maybe win round 1 as well, but maybe I could see like a check hook right on his chin that weirdly lays Ribovics out. I can see that. Moving on to the co-main, Chris Duncan takes on Rebecca, and I'm going Rebecca. But I actually do worry about this one. I know everyone will kind of be real confident in Rebecca, but I feel like Chris Duncan's actually got a good chance. And I don't like to trust Chris Duncan. I reckon he's shit. So stiff on the feet and like slow. Pretty big and weirdly strong. A couple fluke guillotines, I would say. I don't know if he's truly like way better than those last 2 people he's beaten. And Rebecca got fraud checked by CDF and come back against Oral by, like, dude's a beast. And his combos are actually nice, and he's got big popping shots. Chris Duncan's kind of chinny. I reckon Rebecca will eventually find a KO shot in this one. But maybe Duncan pulls off a weird 29-28 decision. I could see it. But yeah, I'm actually picking Rebecca. Well, it's not, I don't know why I said that. Like, yeah, I'm actually going to go Rebecca, but I'm going Rebecca. To win this one by KO. Maybe it's a decision, but I reckon he's just such a tank. I don't know what Duncan can really do here. Not guillotine him, and I don't think he'll be able to grapple, and I reckon Rebecca's just faster, hits harder, way better chin, good leg kicks, and Duncan is a bit of a chinny guy. I do think that. Yeah, and the main event. Now, this is where shit gets real. Tatsuro Taira Hyunsung Park on short notice, and I don't care. I'm going Hyunsung Park. I know there's a lot of reasons to not pick him. 10-0. Taira was 16-0 before he went into a 5-round fight. Then he kind of found out that he wasn't really there. Goes back to the gym, learns, gets better. You could say this is what's about to happen for Hyunsung Park. Loses his own, goes back, gets better. First 5-round fight, slows down against a more polished guy. But I just can't deny what I see out of him. Every time I've seen him fight, I'm like, far out. That guy knows what he's doing. And every time I see him fight, he gets better. He was 26 in this fight, 28 in this fight, 29. Like, he has been a little bit inactive, so he's trying to rack them up now. I don't think he's ready to go at 29 years of age. I reckon his combos are sick. I think he's got an insane cage presence. He's super poised, goes to the body well. Good knee. Like, I think he's fast. I reckon he's got big power. And I don't reckon Taira can really earn respect off this guy. And I know Taira's got a sick back take, but I reckon Hyunsung Park will hold his own. Hyunsung Park's got a sick back take. Hyunsung Park's got a sick rear naked choke. They've rear naked choked the same guy. First round, rear naked. Not rear naked him, but finished the same guy. Taira had Carlos's back for the whole first round, didn't finish him. And this is an MMA math, but Park ran through him in 2 minutes. I like what I see out of Park, and I'm not just going to not pick him just because he's undefeated and this is one he should lose, even though that's my reasoning for the Taliesin Teixeira, 8-0, 5-rounder, high-level guy. This is probably one he just loses, but I don't care. I'm going with what I see. When I watch Taira fight, I'm like, yeah, that guy's good. Sick back take. Striking doesn't amaze me. Not a lot of power. Leaves himself open. But when I see Park, I'm like, fuck, man. That guy's good. In his last one, I was legit blown away by how good he looked. And I know you could say it was Carlos Hernandez's shit, but I reckon Taira might take the back in moments. Park will push down on the leg and reverse it. and end up in full guard and maybe steal around that way. Taira goes for a slick back take, rushes it a bit, and Park nullifies it. I reckon Park is stronger. I reckon he has a sick grappling base, and he's like a short, stocky guy, not a big, rangy Royval who's kind of weak as fuck. I reckon Park is sick. I worry about him if it goes later, but I reckon he's going to invest in body shots early. I reckon he might outdo this one by decision, maybe even finish Taira and knock him out. I'm not too sure. I reckon Taira's open on the feet. I reckon his hands are weak. And I reckon Park's got, like, I reckon if you've got sick grappling, like, you can deal with Taira. Like, I reckon Usyk could have given him trouble with how good his back take defense is. I don't see Park getting subbed, and I reckon Park's going to get this one done with better boxing on the feet, hits harder, better cage presence. He's like ridiculously confident in himself as well because he's undefeated. He's so poised in there. His combos are good, and I really just like this guy. I think this guy's special. He's also 29 and a bit seasoned and older. I know Taira's got a lot more fights, but he's still a young 24-year-old guy. But I understand the other way of thinking, like, he just took a L, like, this would be a better Taira. I'm not very confident in Park, but like what I'm seeing out of Park, I want to pick him. I believe in Park, and the only reason I'd be picking Taira is because it's like, oh, this is just one Park will lose, because that's how it goes. But if I'm going off, like, when I watch Park fight, I'm like, fucking hell, that guy's cracked. And then when I watch Taira fight, I'm like, yeah, that guy's sick. But I don't feel the same way I do when I watch Park. So I'm going to go Park. I know that's a hot take, short notice. The fact that he took Usyk and then this one, I think the guy's ready. I know 5 rounds is tough. I reckon he'll win the early 2 at least. I reckon he'll be able to get 3 rounds out of the 5 here. Win maybe the first 2 and pinch around 5. Invest early. Taira does slow down, and I don't know if he'll be able to get the grappling off. I reckon Park's got a great grappling base. He's super strong. Not going to let Taira take the back, reverse it in moments, and just beat him on the feet with way better boxing. And he's got nukes in his hand. Not nukes, but the guy's strong as, and he's got wicked pop in his shots. I'm going Park by decision, maybe finish. Not too sure. Only picking 4 dogs, I think, out of the 12 fights. Not bad. Pulyaev's a near evens. Rinya, Gore, I do believe in. Bunes is not a bad dog, but Estevam, yeah, and that's the card. How long did I go for? A bit of a quick one because I was worried my laptop was going to die during the video, but then I realized there's a charger next to me, so that didn't happen, but it's not the best card anyway, so I like a bit of a smoother, fast-paced one. What did you guys think? Leave a fucking like and comment. I know a lot of people will just be picking Taira blatantly and not be thinking about Park, but I'm a Park believer. Peace of mind, baby. Let's do this, Yun Song. And yep, I believe in this guy. I reckon he'll beat Taira this weekend. And that's it. All right, sayonara, everyone. 18 minutes of the best. You're welcome for that. Boom, boom.